Hello and welcome to another episode of the Life Adventurist podcast. I'm Jenny Holla, your host, and this is the place to be if you want to explore all the edges or a lot of the edges of spirituality as we explore new topics, have conversations with different people. And, I'm still going to be including the things about travel and adventure and fun in there too. And this is really, 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 really strongly about spiritual topics, is really what this podcast is shifting into and leaning into. I love whatever energy is in the air right now because I have been bringing on so many guests here in the podcast. And I'm hearing from many of you who are listening how you're loving these episodes and you're loving exploring different things that I don't have expertise in. And today's episode is one of these special moments. And I am so excited to bring on Hayley Lads. She's from Australia, and we actually met through we'll tell you that in a second. I'll tell you that in a second. Let me bring her on. She is working with this energy healing modality called 7D Ahai energy healing. It is the frequency of the angels. So let me bring her on and she can tell you way more than I would be able to. Hayley,
Hi,
welcome.
Jenny.
So good. Before we get into it, just like tell everybody, like, just a bit about you, just like who you are, whatever's on your heart. Like, it doesn't have to be this like resume thing, like just whatever's present on your heart.
Yeah. So I started my healing journey a couple of years ago and opening up to spirituality and releasing a lot of emotions and trauma that I'd shoved down for many, many years, trying to be that strong, independent woman. And through a shift in my career, going and being of service in the beauty industry, I felt like that wasn't aligned anymore. I had just packed up all my house and moved interstate with my beautiful daughters, and Spirit was wanting me to take a big leap in my career. And so to begin with, I got into sound healing, which is such a beautiful modality. I also use that in the studio as well with my healing bowls. And I was guided to do a form of energy healing called Reiki. And that was a beautiful experience. However, my practitioner, my master, was like, "You've done this before." And I kind of felt that. It was really bizarre. I'm like, I need something stronger. I've done this. It is such a beautiful healing modality, and it works for a lot of beautiful things. But yeah, I was just searching, ready for something more expansive to come in, something that would open up my gifts a little more. And then along came Christina Rice. She's on Instagram, and she channeled a beautiful frequency called Ahai 7D about 2 years ago. And I managed to find her and was super curious, and everything, just the stars aligned, and I decided to do her course. So now I'm a practitioner of, the frequency of miracles.
I just got chills. Every time we talk about like this energy modality, I get chills. And, so basically you said Christina Rice. And I've talked about Christina, the channel, here on my podcast because she's influenced a lot of my learning and growth as I've listened to her like podcasts or watched her YouTubes or followed her on social or whatever. And the way that we found each other is she was posting that there were people coming through her certification, and I was curious about the energy, and I was like, "Ooh!" And Christina's got a huge following, so I had no idea how many people were going to reach out, but I just was like, "Ooh, let me reach out and see if this is their space. This would be so fun." So, go ahead.
I loved that because I had so many people from overseas reach out, and I thought, I'm so curious to see how this works, with someone overseas over the computer. Is this legitimate? Does it really work? And I just felt really called to you. I didn't know anything about you, and I reached out and we connected, and it just felt so aligned once again that, you were coming into my space and me into yours, and for you to experience this incredible modality.
Yeah, as I continue to go on this path, and maybe you've already known this for a while, but this continues to be like really present for me and continues to be confirmed over and over and over, is that there really are no mistakes. We are exactly where we are, and where we're meant to be is exactly where we're meant to be, because our souls are leading us on this path. So as we meet people, one of the other guests I had on here, like on the podcast recently, I have a friend of mine who's like, I listened to that episode, I was just so activated, like I had so many tingles listening to her. And that's the thing, we get these tingles, we get these confirmations, and I just am continue to be like, I don't even want to say blown away, because I feel like that's kind of dramatic, but that's kind of how it is in a way. It's like I'm just grateful that we met, because that little nudge inside of me and that little nudge inside of you, we were able to create this relationship that's still growing, and I got to experience it. So before we share any of the details of what I got to experience, how about you share a bit more about what this energy is? Like you said that the frequency of miracles, the energy, that comes from the same dimension as the angels, like maybe break it down a little bit more, explain it to someone who knows Reiki but doesn't know what this is.
Sure. So Ahai actually means the mother, the helper, and favored by God. So you can just imagine, that's the higher realms, that's connection, that's, connecting to source, angels, light beings. It's really a powerful high frequency energy. So Reiki is more on the 3D level, whereas this is so much more potent. It is the healing of miracles, and it can just unlock so much that you've gone through, whether it's through past lives, where it's this incarnation on life. It's just such an amazing divine feminine energy. I mean, when I do in-person sessions, I don't know if you could feel it on Zoom, but I have women that come in and they just feel held straight away. It's just that healing hug, and they feel so aligned to express themselves, speak their truth. And I find they just blah 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 talk about anything and everything, and that's just a beautiful space to be able to hold for men and women. And yeah, it's just it's a powerful sort of energy. And the process is you set some intentions, you spend some time in your heart and set some intentions, whether it's to call things in or to release things. And that's what we work on in the session. So I'm just a conduit. I just heal, I feel that, and give you the energy through my hands. And basically in a session, you'll feel different things, whether it's hot and cold, you might see colors, you might feel different things through your body. And also in some circumstances, feeling nothing is fine. It's, just know that it works. I mean, I have tingles even talking about it.
So true.
And one other difference is when I'm channeling this energy, I get really hot. I can feel things. It activates my gifts as well. So I have a stronger connection with source, and with it's able to open up my intuition and my psychic abilities. And then I can also give the clients some information from their guides, from my guides. It's just so expansive. It's incredible.
I love that, and I want to celebrate a bit with you, because I was just having a bit of like a messenger chat with somebody today who let me know that they really were excited to book an Akashic record reading with me. And they said, I just find that the energy is just deeper, and it just is like, I don't remember how they said it, but it's like more expansive than other modalities that they've worked with. And I was like, yes, because that's the Akashic records. Like, it's such a loving field. And I feel like the work that you do too is very similar, in that the energy, I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because it's like the energy is, this is what's going to resonate with me right now. Let me know if there's a slight tweak based on your own perception. It's like the energy of both is from such a high frequency that I can relate to what you're saying about, like, you can just feel it in you. And I feel like I'm receiving all this loving Akashic record energy through my readings and healings and same like you, I'm a channel. So I feel like they're both like this high vibe. And not even about like high vibe because it's better. Let's do a high vibe. Not like that. Like it's like you said, a higher frequency that just
because the energy of the world is raising. There's so many people awakening, and we need these stronger energies to align with us. We're coming out of the 3D, a lot of people that are wakening up, and so we still need to heal. We still need those modalities to support us in everyday life, and this frequency is higher, so we're aligning to those frequencies. And I mean, everybody is always healing, aren't they? Working through their trauma and things. So this one thing I really love about this modality is that it works on your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, and your energetic. So you could come with, you've had a hip operation and you just have a lot of pain, so we can work on that as a physical thing. Or you could want, to raise your frequency or align your chakras or be open to your gifts and activate dormant DNA. This space is also about remembering all the lives that you've had and just becoming your most authentic person.
I love that. In my experience, and I'll back up a little bit, and this already, but this is sharing, right, for everybody to hear, is that I had experienced Reiki prior. And I had gone through some Reiki, like a Reiki level 1, a Reiki level 2 courses. I kind of say that loosely because they were on Udemy and it wasn't like with the person. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. So I'd been through Reiki and I believed in Reiki and I had practiced on myself very minimally and I practiced on like my dog and stuff, right? So I had received distance Reiki sessions in the past and I just was like, I don't know, I'm just going to trust they work. I don't know. So we're speaking from past Jenny, pre-Akashic records, pre-really growing spiritually and ascending and raising my consciousness, right? Although still believing. And in those moments, I really wondered what I was paying for, or am I just trusting in this like random ass thing? And it's funny to be on the other side of this, to where like I do trust and feel energy at different levels. And the reason I brought all that up is because when I sat with you for this session, also layered with the fact that now I've opened up my gifts, working with the Akashic records, I've felt stuff in your healing, despite the fact being in the United States and you being in Australia, like I felt stuff. And what's interesting, and I don't know if you still do it this way, but you're not like there, you go off, we disconnect from Zoom and then we reconnected after. And the stuff I had felt was similar to the messages and visions that you had received when you were doing the healing. I don't know if you remember because you've probably done so many.
No, I do. It was incredible. It actually amazed me, to be honest, because you were one of the first people online, and I was like, let's see how strong this really is.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. Yes. So I actually do disconnect. It allows me to focus more and tune into the messages, and everything you felt I was able to tell you about, and you were like, oh my God, I felt that, or I saw that. And it was a beautiful validation that this is super powerful. It works no matter where you are, and energy is all around us. And that's what we're essentially doing, is just connecting to each other's energy and allowing this amazing healing to happen. And you had some shifts, didn't you, after the experience?
I mean, I don't see, now it's been a while, so I don't remember specifically what my shifts have been, because like there were so many different things that I was doing that were shifting me. Like I remember you were telling me that I had certain chakras that were closed that you helped open up. And I also remember, I can't remember if this was before the retreat or after the retreat. I think it was right before. And it kind of opened me up to go to that retreat that I went to. That then opened me up even more. It's like,
yeah, beautiful.
And the reason I share that is because one of the things that was swirling in my head as you were talking as a question is like, okay, there are so many different things and tools, right? Like you guys are listening, watching, because I also have this on YouTube as well. Like you're watching two amazing, powerful healers who offer different like aspects of the sphere, right? Like different facets of this diamond. So now, I don't know, has it been like 6 months, 8 months? I don't remember when we last.
Yeah, at least 6 months. Yeah.
So obviously you've done a ton more healings, you've done a ton more things. What have you come to learn and realize, or where are you really like leaning into right now after having all these different clients? Where do you feel like this fits, or where do you feel like it's a good fit in someone's healing journey? Or how would you suggest if it is like an addition or instead of, or just, you know what I'm saying? Does the question make sense? Because I know
Yeah. So I honestly believe that if you're aligned and open and ready for this healing, you will find me somewhere, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's my sign down the street. I mean, I had she's now my coach, actually my gym coach, and she never drives down my street, and I got this sign out the front, and she drove past and she's like, "Hey, I saw your sign." And I was like, divine timing, and we had the most powerful session, and she's come back again this week as well, just to we always have lots of things to work on. So her first session was super intense, emotional release, and just a lot came up, and we did a tarot reading afterwards, and it was all so aligned. And then yesterday's session was so much more beautiful, calling in what she wants for her business. And that's the beauty of this healing. It's all about your intentions, whether it's clearing or calling things in. We can manifest that home that you want, or align with a new job, or release some trauma that allows you to step in to go, hey, I don't love my job anymore, I'm being called to do this. And it just gives you the confidence and the energy to follow those breadcrumbs, those dreams. And yeah, every session is so different. And I also had another client, and this is interesting how when you start to heal yourself, people around you notice the difference, or there's that ripple effect. So this beautiful friend of mine, we cut a lot of cords with her mother. She had a lot of wounds around her mum. Not that I knew. This was all like intuitive throughout the session. And her mother actually messaged after the session and was like, "What's going on? What's wrong?" She must have felt the energy as well. And then their relationship has expanded because this client is now able to have those boundaries with her mother figure, and she healed some mother wounds. And then in relation to her partner, she's got more boundaries with him because she felt like she was his mother. And it's just like a ripple effect. Then he's now healing his wound with his mother. And it's just from one session,
that's awesome.
That's affected like 4 people. And it's just such a beautiful thing to watch, and to be able to hold space and allow these men and women to take on their healing, face all the stuff that they've been through, because that's the thing. No one's going to fix you. You have to want to step in and say, yes, I'm going to do this for me. And it's so important to see all these beautiful men and women expand and become who they're meant to be. It's such an honor, truly. I love it.
Oh, I love it. There's so many, I love, and I didn't realize this before when we worked together, or even when I reached out and asked you if you wanted to be a part of this. I did not realize this until now, like how parallel both, our experiences and modalities are. They're very parallel, and a lot of times very similar to each other, just in the words and the way you're talking about it. And it's bringing up some different questions than I had anticipated, which is really beautiful. And one of the things that I'm curious about, so you said with the gym coach, she saw your sign on the road, and you were talking about doing a second session. So are you now offering packages or like a coaching experience or something like that? Because you said a second, or people just say, "Oh, come back." Like, how is that unfolding for you?
So I definitely have packages. You get 3 sessions for the price of 4, which is really great. You can use that over a 4 to 6 month period. For this, definitely a one-off is great. It can start shifting things, and then you can start doing work with coaches and other modalities depending on what you want. But this, I feel like this is like a monthly thing because things are going to shift really, really quickly. You're going to need that support and the momentum, the momentum keeps coming. And once you release so much of that stuff, you want to shift it and you want to start aligning with your truth and what you're being called to do. And that's where, also the Akashic records, I'm able to access them as well. So there's so many different things you can do. No healing session will be the same ever. It's just amazing. You're going to feel different things. Also, as I said, this opens up space to activate your own gifts. So if you're feeling, really spiritual and you know that there's something there, it's just peeling back the layers, working through that trauma, making space for these beautiful gifts, for these messages to come through. And it's incredible. With Christina, the channel, so she was actually able, and this is an example of a miracle, she was actually able to heal an autoimmune disease that she had. There's no cure for this disease, and she was able to work through a lot of the stuff in her body, because when we talk about disease, it's dis-ease in the body, isn't it? So you're removing all this stagnant energy, aligning with your truth, and then you're able to get rid of all of the stuff that's built up in your energy field to align and become healthy again. Like, it's just incredible. It's so powerful.
So I didn't realize, because I've heard her talk about, I didn't follow her before when she was trying all her different things to heal her autoimmune. I didn't realize that the 70 Ahai energy was a part of that. I didn't know that, and it makes sense.
And it was linked to her journey, because she wasn't answering those, in those little calls and wasn't following the breadcrumbs. And, her body started to react, and it's like, pay attention to me. Because if you're not, then, you're going to get sick and you're not going to be able to fulfill what you came here, what your mission is. And she's just incredible now. She does big group healings. And I mean, she only works with a multi-millionaire, billionaire CEOs now, because that's what she can do. She just aligns with those high pay people that, have those intentions, so as I said, you can work on physical things, money, manifestations. You can work on, aligning with your soulmate that's meant to be coming in. It's just so much you can work with. It's beautiful.
I'm like sitting here and, hey, we're just chatting. I'm not holding you. I'm just like, wow, like the things that are just, I have a couple different things in my mind. I'm like, wow, how beautiful would it be to have 70 Ahai energy healing, then clear out your energy and make way for an Akashic record reading, and vice versa. An Akashic record reading that helps bring up some stuff and bring some awareness to some things, and then get cleared out by a 70 Ahai. I'm like, I never even really thought about that, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Hand in hand.
Yeah. And the other things that I'm thinking about too is, yes, to go get an energy healing from Hayley, the 70 energy healing, if there is a specific thing, because a lot of times us as humans, we look for help when we are feeling pain, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. We want help. I get excited by the idea of like, cool, I may not be aware of help that I need right now specifically, but I want to just expand even more. Like, I just want to bring that out into the awareness that you could still do a 70 healing without having a specific problem, a hip problem or a emotional breakup or something.
Yeah, that's right.
It could literally just be, I want to expand. I want to release whatever it is, that known and unknown. Is that accurate? Do you find, have you done with people who've like come in with that intention?
Yeah, and that's what comes up with the intuitive messages. You may not still realize you have cords from a previous partner, or, things like that. You kind of like, I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. I just want to come and experience the healing. And then all of these messages come through, and we have a conversation after, the healing, and it's like, oh yeah, that and that and that aligns, and yeah, that happened like last year and I didn't realize that affected me. And just that recognition and realization that, you know, the littlest thing can still cause trauma in your body. You know, whether it's, oh, I didn't cry when my dog died or something like that can still manifest and cause a lot of trauma. And everybody has different things that they want to heal, and then also things that they're unaware that's in their body, and they just want some guidance, and they want a safe space to be held and listened to and nurtured. And it's just such an amazing experience. Like the activations as well, I actually call in my activation angels, so they work with me, and my healing angels also work with me. So the activation angels work with restoring dormant DNA, you know, that can be related to your gifts, any activations or upgrades that you're ready for. So the variety is endless. Like, it's incredible. You could come every week for the rest of your life and we would be changing things and, you know, calling things in, and yeah, it's amazing.
You know what, I'm curious, because this is something that I've said on the podcast before for Akashic Records stuff. And, you know, I do still align with this in that I don't want anybody to be dependent on me giving Akashic record readings, that there's like a codependency in their growth. I do enjoy, at the same time, I'm going to say that I do enjoy, like, I have a 7 weeks of magic one-on-one program I take people through. And then if it makes sense, we then can move into like a 6-month container, but we're not meeting weekly. Like, yes. This is what I was just talking to a client about. I was like, it's like we're weaning you off the teat, you know, like weaning you off. Like, you know, we're going to meet like every other week and then move to every third, and then move to once a month. So what I'm curious then with this healing, would that same thing exist, or do people just learn to access it themselves, or like what does that look like on your end? Because it might be very different.
Yeah, so you can't access the healing yourself. You need to be attuned to it. Similar to Reiki, you have your symbols. And also it's a little bit different to Reiki in regards to, I have to have your permission to work on you verbally. I can't just, you know, send Grandma Joe some Reiki or some energy healing. They need to be able to accept the energy. So that's a very distinct thing in regards to the different modalities. Yes. So I would definitely have like a container. You know, this is just quite new for me. I'm the first one in Australia to be attuned, so that was really special. So just starting to get my name out there, so that's really incredible. But yeah, I would just work one-on-one with you, and we would work out a plan, you know, whether it's a 6-month container. And basically, as I said, I'm not healing you. You're doing the work. It's what your body is ready to process, what it's ready to release. And, you know, I encourage all of my clients to have a little journal and sort of start seeing all the things that are shifting over the next couple of days to months to all of that. And yet often, you know, they could come maybe twice a year, and that would be enough for people, because they're having the tools and they're coping and they're shifting themselves. And that's what I love about this energy. As I said, it's not me fixing you. It's assisting you, it's guiding you, it's helping you, but you have the tools. You know, a lot of things come up that I channel, you know, guidance and things like that. It's like, okay, you need to think about a night ritual, or you need to have more of an open communication with your partner at night and allow him to step into his masculine and you be your feminine, you know, messages like that. And sometimes that's all you need. But yeah, definitely more than one session is amazing, because there's so much we can call in and do.
I love that. You know, this is reminding me of a podcast I listened to of Christina's. Christina, the channel, is all up in this podcast episode today. So it reminded me of one I listened to of hers, where she was talking about essentially how she has a team of, you know, like healers. I don't remember how she put it, but basically, you know, she has, I don't remember exactly, but, you know, she's got her energy healer, she has her mindset healer, she has her astrology, she has like all of these different people that support her for different reasons. And it's not just like, I don't have anything, I'm good, I already channel stuff and I already know what I'm doing,
That's
right?
right.
It's
Yes.
also these other things to support. And so that's what I'm thinking about. I believe that part of the work that you and I do in the world is also helping to expand the minds of people to think about the different ways that they could use the healing modalities that they bring, right? Like you said, maybe you go through, it's kind of like a chiropractor sometimes. Like you go through and you have to have like, meet them a little more frequently until you get your body in alignment, and then you go once a month or you go once a year or you go whatever frequency makes sense for you. And I'm just thinking, okay, cool, like how fun would it be to be like, all right, it's New Year's, let's get that energy attunement, or it's my birthday, let's get energy, like you could make a fun like routine out of it.
Definitely, because maintenance is important, having that support. It's not just a one all and fix all and then you're good to go and never have trauma for the rest of your life. Yes, one session of Ahai is incredible. It's better than nothing, but that maintenance is so important, for us to keep raising our frequency, keep aligning with our truth. It's just so important to have those modalities, whether it's Akashic records, whether it's Reiki, whether it's sound bowl healing, everything works with the frequency of raising your own energy, and they're all beautiful.
You know what? I'm glad you said sound bowl healing, because you said that earlier and I totally forgot to like bring it up. I was in a different type of energy healing, and it was a sound healing in a different energy healing. And it was beautiful. And at the same time, I don't know all the instruments that he used, but none of them were the crystal bowls. And I'm pretty sure you played the crystal bowls. And I told my husband, I was like, that was cool, but I feel like my soul like craves the crystal
bowls.
Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't really pay attention. I was like, sound healing, yay.
Love it. Yeah, they align with your chakras, so you can literally feel the energy. I have the sacred one seems to get to me the most, and every time I play that, I just like feeling like that grounding energy. My creativity just wants to like burst.
Oh my God.
So I love that.
I'm over here, like my whole body's like just with us talking. Woo. Wow.
So yeah, I use that as part of my package. It's not just lay on your bed for 20 minutes at the door. I have a beautiful cup of tea and we chat and just allow that space. I pull oracle cards and have different things come through intuitively. I finish with the sound bowl healing and use lots of different instruments. And I mean, some people fall asleep, they're that relaxed. It's beautiful. So yeah, it's a whole experience. It's not just like an in-out, next person. It's just a beautiful 60 to 90 minute space where you can feel loved and held and grounded. And I do a grounding meditation. If you come and see me in person, I do oils, but doing Zoom sessions, you still get the sound healing, which is beautiful.
Ooh. Every time I'm getting chills. I must need crystal bowls.
You need to know, session girl.
Okay, so where in Australia are you? So if someone's listening, they live there, because obviously Australia is a huge country like the United States. Or if someone's traveling, because I'm just saying, wouldn't that be cool to be on vacation or traveling?
Perfect.
Like, I think so thinking about that, it makes me feel so emotional saying that. So there's somebody listening where that just activated an idea in them, like, holy crap, I need to look up Hayley.
So I'm in Queensland, which is the top of Australia, and I'm located at Mermaid Waters. So I have my beautiful studio that I'm sitting in now. And you can also find me at bloom.holistic.healing on Instagram. Thank you.
Add it to the screen here. Instagram on the screen you're watching.
Find me through there, connect with me. I have a lot of information on things like types of intentions, what to expect during a session, and I'm always free. You can message me if you're curious, and then you just have the booking link there as well.
Beautiful. So is there anything that we haven't touched on that you feel like is really important to add to this conversation, or that you would like to add?
just to know that, you know, everyone's on their own journey and it's not about reaching the end really quickly. It's just about being open to all of these beautiful modalities and seeing what it brings to your life. It enhances your life, and you're the only person that can take the first step, you know, and that's one of the biggest things I learned. And I've seen through my family, through my kids, you know, just planting those seeds and taking that first step, it affects everyone around you. And it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Oh, I love that. I'm so excited. And I really hope that, no, I'm not going to hope. What is a better word that I could use? I am inviting you, listeners, watchers, that if this really resonated, like if you got any tinglies at all, or if you had that soul nudge, that you reach out to Hayley, because that feeling, that intuitive nudge, like, is not coincidence. Like, there's a reason. Reach out to her. She's super beautiful. Like, her sessions are so supportive, and you feel so welcome and you feel so at home. And then really you get to just relax while the energy healings take place. And depending on your level of sensitivity to energy, you may feel a little bit, nothing, a lot. Like, the experience is what the experience is. And even if you are sensitive to energy, I would venture to say that maybe sometimes you don't feel anything, air quotes, even though it's still happening. Because that's happened to me as well. I don't feel something, even though I am sensitive to energy, you know? And I think the big thing is trusting that it's working. Because the minute you start, I don't know, is it, and you start playing that game, you're blocking it off. Blocking it off. And if you're going to invest and you're going to go on this journey, you might as well be like super open to receive.
Yeah, that's right. And just to know that, you know, you are enough and you deserve to invest in yourself. It's so powerful, investing in yourself, definitely.
I love that. Well, my birthday is July 3rd, so maybe I might invest in myself.
Yeah, girl.
That might be a fun little thing. So, all right. Well, Hayley, thank you so much for spending your time. And if you guys end up booking a session, let me know. I want to hear how it was for you. I want to hear like what kind of experiences unfolded. I mean, I'm just like, I feel so giddy over this. I mean, am I tapping into this energy right now? Like, I'm just like, me.
Yeah, I'm sending you some.
Oh,
Thank you so much for having me. Such a privilege to know you. I'm so grateful for you.
of course. All right, guys, check Hayley out, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.